technical work, the sound, the visuals, all that. So you get a better understanding of what happens in the studio. Without further ado, let's get straight into the show. Uganda Broadcasting Corporation hosts UBC TV's newsroom at its headquarters on Nile Avenue, located on the second floor of the commercial block. A newsroom is a space where a team of journalists gathers to discuss leads and angles for developing news stories within its mandated jurisdiction. UBC TV newsroom primarily focuses on Ugandans and its citizens. The UBC TV newsroom is staffed by professionals and experienced reporters covering various fields, alongside editors and news anchors. These professionals process news to ensure it is ready for broadcast in the daily bulletins. Newsrooms follow a daily routine known as the editorial meeting. This meeting primarily reviews previous, new, and developing stories across the country, allowing the team to collaboratively decide on objective angles to approach each story. Each bulletin is overseen by a news editor responsible for maintaining grammatical and contextual standards, among other roles. Michael Jordan Lukomwa is today's lunchtime news bulletin editor and news anchor. He will collaborate with a team of reporters and news broadcast operators to deliver the bulletin at 1 p.m.
So I have to make sure that, first of all, I have the stories, because the bulletin is made up of stories. So I have to make sure that there are stories. I contact the people that have the stories from near and far. That's the reporters within here and up country. Contact them so that they send in that content. My role is to ensure that it meets the standards that have to go on air, in both the scripting and in terms of the videos. That's what it starts with. So there are Mondays where it coincides when I'm on the duty as the person on the desk, and as well the anchor of the day, like now today. So I prepare myself in double. I must come dressed ready to be on air, but as well with the mind ready to put a bulletin together as somebody on the desk. So mainly it involves contacting people that I work with to ensure that I have the work that I'll take on air.
Just describe for me the difference or the uniqueness of editing a bulletin that you're going to anchor vis-a-vis a bulletin that someone else has edited for you.
Of course, a bulletin you have prepared yourself becomes so soft to present, because you know where you put a full stop, you know what story you made number 2 and why, you get, than when it is Deo that has prepared it. Yes, you may be part of it as he prepares, but Deo has his way of doing things, or any other editor. He chooses number 3 according to how he sees the whole lineup that he has. So I choose my number 4, I choose my number 5, I choose my number, basing on how I value the stories personally. It becomes so easy and smooth for me as a presenter than a bulletin where somebody else has prepared.
The editorial process involves meticulously dissecting news stories objectively, ensuring that every piece of information is thoroughly vetted and grounded in factual accuracy. Editors and reporters collaborate closely to assess the relevance and context of each piece of information, striving to present a balanced narrative that reflects the complexities of the issue at hand. Among the reporters Michael Jordan is working with today is Marshall Miro Victor, a budding sports journalist and athlete, supporting the sports desk.
Firstly, when you report in the morning, there's a morning meeting at about 8:30 a.m. and then so you're assigned to the field, and then when you're assigned to the field, normally if your event takes 2 or 3 hours, by around 1-2 p.m. you're normally back at the working station, and then when you're back at the working station, you sit down and then you write your script. And so when you're writing your script, you have to base it on how the event went and how it flows according to your own understanding, because you're the original author of the story.
UBC's editorial house style typically employs 3 distinct story formats. 1. The intro bite. In this format, the anchor reads the lead and then transitions to a segment where the reporter presents an edited version of a speaking interviewee. This approach allows for a direct connection between the anchor and the interviewee, enhancing viewer engagement. 2. The lower voice order, commonly referred to as the LVO, features the anchor delivering a more detailed account of the story while relevant muted video footage plays in the background. This format provides viewers with a comprehensive understanding of the story while visually illustrating key elements. The most frequently used format in UBC's editorial house style is the sound on tape, or the SOT. In this format, the anchor introduces the story that has been narrated by a reporter from a recording booth.
To cruise through their competitors at the 2024 USF Masters Swimming.
This method allows for a polished and professional presentation, ensuring that the reporter's insights are effectively communicated to the audience.
Yeah, then you normally write down like the anchor lead and then your main body, and after your main body you have to give like specific name tags for the interviews that you have done, which are called bites. And then you also,
why is it important to name people?
It's important to name people in the story because it helps the public, the general public, know exactly who that figure in the story is. Maybe, for example, if it's the president of the country, or if it's a minister, or if it's a sports person.
What can happen if you don't name? What are the probable chances of communication gaps if you don't name?
Well, if you don't name, it's almost you're leaving out. It's a very essential part of the story because it helps the public know who the person is, because and what role, what position that person has.
The Executive Director, GM Tampeco, showcased a newly received shipment of number plates, signaling that supply has fully resumed. This was in line with recent concerns and regarding shortage of vehicle number plates in the market.
Each of these formats serves a unique purpose, contributing to the overall quality and clarity of UBC's news broadcasts.
I think we try. Even the people that bring in our stories know what has to go on air and what doesn't, or what has no chance to go on air. Of course, there will be circumstances where people will come up, you said this, it wasn't right. It happened several times. But to me, facts vary. Sometimes a fact may only be scratching someone's back the wrong way. Somebody will be unhappy about a fact. And that's when they will complain, because the fact is not in their favor. And the other times, true, somebody may gather information and they failed that, what I call the most important bit of gathering a story. That is verification. To me, I call it the most important, because if you don't verify, it annuls whatever you have done. So yes, there is disrespect for the right steps of ensuring standards, but at least we rarely get it here. Most of our people know what they should bring in here.
Hello, I'm by the name Zasima Rosette, Manager Revenue. You are watching Inside Broadcasting. I'm here with Mark Wadulo.
Hi, my name is Randa and you're here in UBC Radio. And don't forget that I work with the Flavor Unit Show. We are still here on Inside Broadcasting.
Yes, I'm Nasa Nasa, yes, working with UBC. You're watching Inside Broadcasting.
Abantu ba Fort Portal Inywena, Mbarara, Bushenyi, aba Kasese, aba Bundubujo, Inywena nituwagonza mu nitwa abantu ba UBC. Mwikalo ni mura UBC habokuba UBC nesomesa kandi obunebaha amakulu agali ha point. Sinywena balyoko mutekeho mutulole kandi mwege na program z'abana tuzine. So mutatwiha hediso. UBC Inspiring Uganda.
What makes a number one story and what makes a number 5 story or the last story?
Of course, every media house has their editorial policy. But now the editorial policy has to blend with how the editor values different things. The president may be, now for example here, for us we are a national broadcaster and government uses our platform as the official disseminator of their works, national service. So we may follow their hierarchy. But now where it comes in, personally, today I will tell you, if I have an accident that has claimed 50 people, I may bring it before the president that has signed a memorandum with Germany or wherever, because to me, this is the serious thing where I must alert people in the area where the accident has occurred to go to the mortuaries and check for their people and what and what. Such people cannot wait to first watch the minister who has commissioned the road. You get.
Generally, the media today, from your perspective, to what level are we gatekeeping and subjecting stories to marketing sourcing?
Of course, the mainstream is trying, and people that believe in what I would call unserious information are praising the social media because it says anything, anyhow. You get. But the mainstream is still trying to ensure that they say what people should consume, not anything, not whatever. You get. So the mainstream is still doing its role to ensure that the standards are still valued. The only challenge, we have a wave of the social media platforms that are a little faster than, take the incident of Chitezi. By the time everybody had a bulletin on air, pictures of the dead bodies, broken legs, and were all over social media. But you realize that the mainstream, there's so many theories. You realize that social media had the theory of here Chinese were banning some things that exploded and resulted into the burst and the sliding of the garbage. Social media has such stereotypes. I didn't hear it anywhere on the mainstream platform. So, in my view, the mainstream is still holding on to the standards. At least you'll give it some 90%. There are those other elements that still want to attract followings, genetically modified followings. They may make the mistakes, but still, when you ask, they have no name to protect. But on a larger extent, the mainstream is still guarding the standards.
Michael Jordan has less than 15 minutes to be on air. It is almost time for the lunchtime news, so we have to let him to eat.
So the tension in the control room is usually unmatched, not like any other qualification I might say. There's a lot of timing that is needed. There's a lot of deliberateness. There's a lot of
intricateness that you must make sure you do to make sure that the bulletin is actually running right.
Yes, I'm very glad to have you join TVC. Welcome to our national news. This Monday, the 9th of September 2024. My name is Michael Jumandokoma, and this is what we have for you this afternoon. State Minister for ICT and National Guidance, Kabianga Godfrey, has assured the people of Kasese who were affected by floods of government response in ensuring that River Nyamwamba is redirected to its original channel. River Nyamwamba burst its banks last week on Saturday morning, killing at least 2 people and destroying property.
On Saturday morning, River Nyamwamba burst its banks, killing at least 2. Minister Kabianga, while assessing the magnitude of the damage, noted that government through the office of the Prime Minister will quickly come in to ascertain the situation.
I am going to add my voice on what...
I'm on a video switcher, doing lunchtime, switching different videos. For the anchor, the picture, and the picture, the story. So I'm on a video mixer, and I'm switching from different audios, sounds from the anchor, from the stories, so that our listeners can get loud and clear sounds.
I'm a technical person, and here, this is a camera control panel. And for it, we handle it before we start production. And for it, I control the picture from here. Yeah, so it's the camera control panel.
Artists such as Namuyomba family, Kajubi, Kibijigiri, and Catherine Kusasira entertain the packed crowd.
I'm Irene Faith Nantongo, and I'm a news coordinator or caster. Yes.
So what does a news coordinator in a news bulletin do?
Basically, a coordinator coordinates news. He or she casts whatever that you see is on air when it's news time. Yes.
What do you love most about your job?
I love the mere fact that I switch stories. Whenever the anchor asks for a story, he or she calls for a story, then I particularly have to cast that same story that he or she has asked me to do. Yes.
What do you find challenging most about this job?
It's not really challenging because I love what I do. I really loved it from day one. When I joined UBC, I was a reporter, but again, I looked forward to working here because I had interest. I used to see people cast and saying, "Stand by, studio." I'm like, wow, I have to be there. So finally, I did it. I just loved it, so I had the urge for it.
Still in sports, the 2024 Uganda Swimming Federation Masters Championship happened over the weekend at the Elite Swim and Gym in Tinda.
I've been practicing sports journalism for 1 year because I graduated from DJ University in 2023 at the end of the year in October, and I've been I did a degree in mass communication and journalism. And I've been able to be at UBC since June 2023 for a period of 1 year. So yes, that's how far my sports journalism has come.
You have the praise so let's catch you in the evening. Enjoy our next program. Bye-bye.
And that brings us to the end of this episode of Inside Broadcasting. Those are some of the faces that actually make some of what we do happen. And if you notice, most of the faces that you've seen today are quite youthful, not so mature, not so young, but quite youthful. And that goes to show you that UBC has over the time changed to incorporate both the senior staff and the youthful stuff. So it's a very lovely place to work, especially sharing minds with such people. It's a place where you will definitely find a way to pick something, whether you are in that line of work or not. Whether you're a producer, you'll get something to know about what producers do. Otherwise, thank you for joining us on this episode. My name is Wadulo Mark Arnold. Catch us every Tuesday at 7:30 p.m. And without further ado, have yourselves a lovely one.
UBC, inspiring Uganda.
At 80, President Yoweri Kaguta Museveni has been a transformative leader, championing democracy and the rule of law, spearheading infrastructure development, ensuring education for all, and securing our nation. His visionary initiatives like Bonabagagawale, Emyoga, the Youth Livelihood Program, Operation Wealth Creation, and the Parish Development Model have touched every corner of our society, driving social transformation and prosperity. Join us as we host a special guest, Honorable Balam Barugahara Atenyi, State Minister for Gender, Labour and Social Development, in charge of Children and Youth Affairs. He will shed light on how these initiatives are propelling Uganda forward at a fast speed. Be part of an exclusive interview as we celebrate 80 years of a revolutionary life under God's hand. Tonight, from 9 p.m. to 10 p.m, only on UBC, inspiring Uganda.
Africa Masharika Fest ekwita okwetaba mu lugendo lw'okulamaga e Butiama eyaliko Pulezidenti wa Tanzania omulwanirizi w'eddembe era omwagalwa w'abanje Mwalimu Julius Nyerere gy'asebuka era nga gye yagalamizibwa. Okulamaga kuno kugendereddwamu okwefumiitiriza ku myaka 25 omwagalwa Nyerere gy'amaze ng'atuvudde ku maaso n'okukuba ttooki mu myaka 25 egy'olugendo lw'omukago gw'amawanga g'obuvanjuba bwa Afrika. Olunaku lw'okujjukira Mwalimu Julius Kambarage Nyerere n'omukululo gwe yaleka olukwatibwa buli mwaka ng'ennaku z'omwezi 14 Oktoba. Omwaka guno lwakutambulira ku mulamwa ogw'okukoppa ebirungi bye yakola, obumalirivu bw'okusigala ku mugendo gw'ennono bibeere ebyokulabirako erinnya ffe Africa, ekivvuunulwa nti Espousing Mwalimu Julius Nyerere's enduring legacy and values, lessons for Mother Africa. N'olwekyo twegatteko nga tufumiitiriza ku lugendo lw'obulamu bwe obwali bufumbekedde obumu, emirembe n'enkulaakulana. Olulamaga luno lujja kuba lunyuvu ddala olw'ebinyumira amaaso okulaba omuli ebyafaayo nga tuyita mu kkuumiro ly'ebisolo erya Serengeti National Park, okulambula entaana ya Mwalimu Nyerere, okukyalirako ekkaddiizo lya Mwalimu erya Mwalimu Museum, Lutikko y'e Butiama ewagenda okuyimbirwa mmisa ey'olugendo lw'okumulangirira mu lubu lw'abeesiimi n'abatukuvu, n'okukubaganya ebirowoozo ku biseera by'omukago gw'amawanga g'obuvanjuba bwa Afrika eby'omu maaso. Tambula awatali kutaataaganyizibwa n'ennyonyi ya Uganda Airlines Bombardier CRJ Renda, oba bbaasi kawerette eza Kiira Motors oba Kayola Diesel Coaches, nga zino ebyetaagisa mu ebiri ate tuwerekerwako ambulance n'ebyokwerinda ebinywevu ddala.
UBC, inspiring Uganda.